Do you think Copenhagen is a good place to start a startup?
I think it is top 5 in Europe if you're doing SaaS or B2B. I think you need to lean into the strengths of the Copenhagen network.
Right.
And in Copenhagen, we have a long history of strong B2B SaaS companies.
Yeah.
All the way from Microsoft Dynamics was Danish, right?
Yeah.
There's a long list of those. SuccessFactors was Danish. Zendesk was Danish. Unity, for that matter, also sorts of a B2B software company.
Right.
But we haven't had that much consumer success in Denmark.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a Spotify or a Shopify for auto-wear or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I think, if you cannot move out of Denmark, there's not a problem in doing a startup from Copenhagen. You shouldn't feel yourself limited. But if you were living somewhere else, I wouldn't move to Copenhagen for the startup scene.
Mm-hmm. What do you think is the best place in Europe?
I don't think you have the most updated view on that right now.
Right.
I think for capital, London is always great.
Yeah.
I think a lot of stuff is happening in Stockholm right now.
Yeah.
Especially on the AI scene.
I've always fantasized about doing it in Berlin because I love Berlin.
But I think the problem, what I hear from my friends in Berlin now, is that a lot of American companies are hiring remote workers in Berlin.
Yeah.
Because it's so cheap.
Yeah.
Or it used to be so cheap.
Yeah.
5 years ago, you would say Berlin is great because people are creative and salaries are low.
Yeah.
But a combination between the housing crisis, price increases on housing, and then American companies coming in paying American salaries to workers in Berlin makes the hiring scene challenged from what I hear.
Yeah.
It's not something I've experienced myself.
I think Copenhagen is great because it's such a good city to live in.
In the end, it's down to that, right? It's a very livable city.
Right. Isn't kind of expensive, I guess, but not really compared to.
It's not London expensive.
No, it's not
at
London
all
expensive.
I think when I worked in Trustpilot, we had quite a lot of success relocating people to Copenhagen.
Yeah.
So it's definitely also a place where you can attract people, of course, especially from Eastern Europe and such, but also even from the UK and Portugal and Spain and so on. So I think you're not worse off choosing Copenhagen.
No.
But I would not choose it as an active choice.
It should almost be like a lifestyle choice.
Yeah.
We're also probably a little tainted because we have such a big network in the Copenhagen startup ecosystem that we, no matter what we need or, we need to talk to, we know someone.
Yeah.
So, that's obviously, gonna be different for everyone, right? But we've just, worked in the Copenhagen startup scenes for so many years.
Yeah.
But when I'm thinking back to when I went to Copenhagen Business School, it's really cheap to be a student here because you get subsidized by the government. The degree is free.
The best startup funding in the world is just to sign up for a bachelor degree somewhere in Denmark and just getting paid and cheap housing.
For real. Then you're just subsidized for 3 years and can start a startup.
Yeah. I think for me, the most important thing to think about is, do you want to start in person or remote?
Yeah.
And even though I worked remote for the last 5 years, and I think remote is a natural progression of a company.
Yeah.
I do believe that the high bandwidth of being in a room together is very important in the early days of a startup.
Yeah.
So I think you should just start wherever you are.
Yeah.
And then consider moving to a hub when that makes sense for the company.
Yeah.
There's no need to bear the cost of moving there to begin with. You can easily travel to London twice a month and still save money compared to moving to London just to do a startup, right?
But I do feel like there's a narrative that it's Europe, it just sucks and it is losing and no one is doing anything cool. I don't think that's true for Copenhagen, at least.
I don't think it's true overall, but I do believe that we are not focusing enough of the value that is brought by starting whatever kind of projects it is.
Yeah, I agree in that. It's easy to say that Denmark is such a good company for entrepreneurs and stuff, but there's a lot of nitty-gritty things that are just really, really annoying, actually.
But I think that's everywhere. I think for me, it's more you can find cool projects happening in Europe, but the total volume of cool projects per capita, or however you want to measure it, is still a lot lower than the US, right?
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, definitely. You can just sit down and look at kind of some of the graphs of the amount of recently created unicorns in different countries in the world.
Yeah,
right?
I was kind of wondering about that. I want to see what you think about this because I thought about it this morning and I thought we don't really have a big IPO culture here.
Nope.
In Denmark, at least.
Well, the companies move out from Denmark before the IPO. We actually had.
I also feel like a lot of companies get acquired.
Yeah.
Am I just making that up, or do you think there's something to it?
I haven't looked into the data because I think that, of course, that mix also consists in the US where, not everybody IPOs.
I think in Denmark there's a lot of like big like funds and stuff.
Yeah.
Because we have some big like government owned like institutions for like pensions and stuff like that. So there is a lot of like money for big companies to do stuff like acquiring smaller companies and like so they get acquired or like before they get big.
I think the biggest issue is that they move out.
Yeah, okay.
Zendesk moved out, Unity moved out, Trustpilot moved out, Dynamics moved out back in the day, because of tax, access to capital, access to talent, all of that stuff.
Probably mostly access to capital.
I think it's also talent and market. Like if your HQ is in a home market of 6 million people.
I don't think it's tax, to be honest.
I think for some it is, but I'll leave those to comment on that. And one thing is, of course, that it's a problem when a company moves out, like that individual company. But I think the core problem is actually that the founder is then moving out.
Yeah.
And so his reinvestment in the ecosystem not only requires him to do a transaction that makes him liquid so he can invest back into the community, but often he then is living in California or in London or somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
So like Copenhagen is not really on his mind, right?
It's true. Like when DHH came here for COVID, he like invested in like 5 startups in like 2 months.
Like I literally have friends who've started companies, moved to the US as soon as they got traction, sold, became a success, whatever, now have plenty of money to invest.
Yeah.
One of my investors is that, but now they don't live in Denmark anymore. So it is only me who have known them for 15 years who get an investment from them in the Danish ecosystem. It is not the 10 crazy cool entrepreneurs that they haven't met yet because they are focused in Denmark, right? And where do they start their next thing? Mm-hmm. Also not in Denmark, right?
Right.
So I think the biggest thing that hurts me is how the long-term effects is on the Danish ecosystem because we cannot keep the successes that are rooted in Denmark.
For more like bootstrapping stuff, like my stuff is more bootstrapped in general. Like I have raised money and stuff, but even for the company I've raised money for, it's like still been sort of like with a bootstrapper mindset. Like living in a small town like I do, where like there's great infrastructure, great kindergartens, cheap houses and stuff like that. It's a great like bootstrapper place. Like if you are in like a period where you don't make a lot of money, you still have like great childcare and great healthcare and all that stuff here, right? So for that is really good, I think. I like bootstrapping from Denmark.
And even if I were to move out and be one of the ones that take their startup out of Denmark, I would still plan to move back because there is a reason why Denmark and I think it's Finland is fighting over the top position as the most happy country in the world, the most livable country, and Copenhagen has been the best city in the world multiple times and so on, right? We have a really great society that we should, by the way, all contribute to, right? And, that's basically where I want my kids to grow up and where I want to become old. But we just don't have the industry that exists in California or New York or London, right?
Is it getting better? Like, is there more like investors showing up, like, or is it less?
I think there's two sides of that. The small investors showing up, and more international investors are actually investing here without necessarily having an office here or showing up, but just open to the market. That was previously just completely closed off, right?
Even if you're a Danish company, you think?
Even if you're a Danish company, yeah.
Okay.
So I like the money that I've raised.
That we can't talk too much about.
That we can't talk too much about, but only a third of that money comes from Denmark.
Okay.
And my company is Danish, right?
Yeah.
And I did talk to some American firms that required me to be, for I think tax reasons, to be a C Corp. And then for now, they were just not invited into the round, right?
Yeah.
But, 10 years ago, that would have been almost all American VCs that you would talk to.
Do you think the EU Inc. is going to help? Which is basically like you can form like a European entity?
My take is that a lot more of EU will feel like a combined home market, which I think is really something we are missing.
Yeah.
Like a home market of 6 million people, the size of South London, is not a very great place to operate, right?
No, that's true.
But it's natural to start in your home market, to have your life go to market validations and so on.
Yeah.
And of course, that's a huge benefit for doing startups in the US. Is not only is your home country a home market large, but they also speak the same language and have the same currency and so on. Mm-hmm. So the more that we can do as the European Union to make that a home market, the better.
Yeah.
So for me, that's the part of EU Inc. that I'm most interested in. But I'm also now a well-connected founder who have done it before and therefore have an easier time raising money. If you were an unexperienced entrepreneur, maybe that would be just yet another small positive. Yeah, it's a known entity,
Yeah.
known legal framework.
Yeah. And our trucks are electric.
Oh yeah. But also all over the city because we are building like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, then I had another sort of crazy idea for the website. What if the waitlist was public? Like
Almost like a signed letter.
No, yeah, like a petition. You know?
Yeah.
And I think I've actually seen you like lead with the waitlist a lot.
Yeah.
Like both with the team and with investors and stuff. You're like, and we have like so and so many people on there. We don't have a crazy amount. Like we have like 100 something, right, on the waitlist right now.
150.
But we're also like, we're not very loud right now. We're in a super small sort of niche here in Copenhagen and stuff right now. We haven't been like blasting Phone.Inc. out, right?
Yeah.
So my thinking was like, if we made it public, it's like more emphasis on each of the people on the wait list. So they sort of carry more weight than just like, you know, one version could be just have a counter on the website. I don't think that works when you have 150 people on there. But like if you see a list of like 150 companies that are on the wait list, that's like kind of impressive. And then maybe some of them even wrote a little note for like why they wanted to be on the list or what they're excited to use it for. And it could be like kind of cool for them to plug their company as well, because then there's almost like this like little bit of a viral effect in it. And obviously, a lot of people maybe don't want to be public there, but then we just anonymize it or like blur it out, but they can be
shared
public.
Anyway.
Well, like we could give them the option of like, do you want this to be like a public?
Yeah.
And then
like give a public shout out to why you're joining the list, kind of.
I just think it's like a fun idea. It's like it has a viral thing to it. I think people would share it just because it's like new. Like I've never seen it before. So basically just have like the H1, letter from the founder, sign up, and then just the list is just in below. So the reason I thought of this is like, because you said, I want to like feature some of the companies that are on the wait list.
Yeah.
And I was like, well,
put humans on it as fast as possible, right?
Right, and I was like, but we could just feature all of them. They could just opt into being featured.
I think it's one of the things where I have a
I know
default.
it's a crazy idea.
I have a default worry.
Yeah.
But there's also a 15% chance that it will go viral due to it.
Yeah. That's pretty high.
So do you like do you take the bet?
Yeah. What's the worst do you think that can happen? Like, what's your worry?
That someone who would be an amazing customer comes to the page and it's absolutely still, and it just looks like there's only these few companies who have joined. So kind of put it public, but you look like a failure.
Well, we just put anonymous companies on there every minute.
Yeah, exactly. It's like someone bought 4 minutes ago from Australia.
Yeah.
Someone is looking from India.
Someone is looking for a phone system in.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's all just fake.
Yeah. Dude, that's the worst.
Is there a version between my, like, let's put like 5 faces on the website and almost like a case study kind of thing and your idea? Like, is there somewhere in between where there's maybe like we reach out to 25 of them and get them to give a quote on why they joined the waitlist and we continue to update that?
Yeah.
You know, where the volume is higher.
When you sign up for the waitlist, we could literally ask for a testimonial there. We could present the option of like, do you want to be publicly displayed on the website with some sort of like testimonial for why you're on the wait list. And then it's just default not checked, right? Of course.
My default question to people has been like, what made you join the wait list?
Yeah.
And it's like giving us some
and
really
we could just be like, would you like
right?
this to be public?
Yeah.
Like, could we share this on the website? And then if they say yes, maybe we could still present it as a wait list, but then instead of like blurring the ones that didn't want to, we could just have like,
I've always loved Basecamp's extreme page with customers. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, it's
There's
crazy.
like tens of thousands of people who shared quotes on why they use Basecamp, right?
Yeah. But we could like show like one testimonial that's public and then just have like a blob where you can't really see, like where it doesn't really say it's like 5 or 10 in between or 100 in between. It just kind of looks like a list, but you only see the public ones instead of blurring out the other ones.
Yeah.
I still think the first one is the one I want to do the most because it's more risky. It's better because it's more risky, but it's also like, then it's risky, like the nature of it.
I would like to see, like, can you make like 2 versions of it.
Yeah, I'll play around with it if you're not completely against it.
I'm not completely against it.
Yeah.
Like, we need to be daring here, right? Because nobody has done it, right?
Yeah.
What does it even look like? How does it feel to sit in front of that form and be about to fill it out,
Yeah.
right? Maybe it's like show your support kind of question. Like, would you love to show your support for Phone.inc? And then we link back to that site or something like that to give them a bit of value back.
I think those types of forms are really underutilized.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a great way to utilize it more if we were like, why are you excited about this? And can we share that publicly?
Yeah, exactly.
Back when I was doing Reform, like one of our most popular use cases was the early access form.
Yeah.
And I think the reason was that we had a really good early access form for Reform.
Yeah.
And we just made that a template.
Yeah.
One of the questions was like, I think it was actually Derek from Savicol that came up with it. He said, why are you interested in this? Or like, why you're signing up or something like that.
Yeah.
And then the options was like, I just want to follow the journey. You know, that's good to know. That you shouldn't like spend too much time on them.
Yeah.
And the other one was like, I'm a potentially paying customer for this.
Yeah.
And the third one was, let's shut up and take my money.
Yeah.
And people loved that.
Yeah.
So that made the template really popular.
Yeah.
And I think it was just a good example of like, you can actually do quite a lot of things with an early access form.
Yeah.
And it is like the way that most people interact with a really early stage company.
Yeah.
So like some companies obviously really take advantage of like their wait list and stuff like that. But it would be fun to do that, but do something that's a little bit novel.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think we definitely want some sort of like, let's try to get a bit more just an email. Let's try to get something marketing.
Totally.
Let's try to get some marketing out of it.
Yeah.
And if we can do it in a way that's like fun and interesting enough, maybe there's a viral component as well. Or maybe viral is the wrong word, but it's more like it's newsworthy, right?
Just a crazy component.
Yeah.
It's the crazy component. Then we'll see what
It's
happens.
crazy, but it's still like controlled. You know?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll play around with that.
If someone signs up for or request an invite and they can share why and they click, you can publish it.
Yeah.
Do we publish straight away?
Probably not. That's the crazy version.
Yeah. That's the kind of buy a pixel on this 1,000 pixel page and you can put whatever,
I
right?
feel like it's the old like write a message in my guest book.
Yeah, exactly.
On my website. That's a bit risky, you know.
Oh, we should get guest books back again.
James McDonald, who used to work at Tailwind, just launched a guest book on his new website.
Oh, nice.
Where you could literally draw.
Nice.
And people started drawing genitals and stuff very quickly, so he had to disable it again.
So expected.
Yeah, it's very expected.
Boys will be boys.
Yeah. Anyways, I'll play around with that.
Looking forward to see it.
All right, this was the second half of the vlog that Nicholas and I recorded while hanging out in Copenhagen. I hope you've been enjoying watching these. If you do, you should let us know somewhere, or if there's something else you wish that we talked about, you should tell us that as well. You can, of course, watch these vlogs on YouTube, where you can also find the regular podcast episodes where we share what we've been working on during the past week or two. And yeah, YouTube is the best place to find everything that we do. With the podcast, you can of course also find in the normal place where you listen to podcasts. I enjoyed making these, even though it's a bit weird to be on camera, like out in the city, but it's still a kind of fun thing to do. So I'm curious to see if people like it. Also want to quickly mention that Still Early podcast is sponsored by Phone.inc. So if your small business needs a better phone system, there's a way to get it now where you just download an app on your phone. And that is basically what Phone.inc is. It's everything your small business needs from a phone system in just an app on your phone. Yeah, so check it out. Thanks so much for watching.